he would like us to make a contribution to his, what would you call it, his fund, his general, like similar to last year. And he wanted me to make a motion. I had a discussion, I don't know if he's contacting anybody else. He wanted me to make a motion to make a contribution similar to last year. But I kind of reviewed our numbers here.
What was last year's?
$300,000.
We gave last year?
We gave him 300. But based on what I see, he evidently feels we are a money machine. We do make money for the city. We're probably one of the better authorities around. But I pretty much told him that that probably wasn't possible. 300,000 is not possible. He kind of thought we had more money than what we have. Okay, and I said, we already committed the 100,000 to the cameras, and I see in just one letter that city council transferred 150,000 over, I think, to pay for the budgeted for the cameras also in one of these articles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I kind of reviewed the numbers based on last year, and I feel we could give him $150,000, and we'd have to look at something down the road. But there's no way we can contribute 300,000. I think we could legitimately. I'm a city resident. I understand where he's coming from. And now looking at this 150, in reality, we're paying for the camera system. I think if we give him the 150 plus the 100 we already gave him, you can almost say that money is being used. And he could use it any way he wants, but that money would be for the camera, which I still think is worthwhile. So is there any discussion on that, or?
If we give 150, what will our balance be?
Something.
250.
What about our capital expenses that we did
Well,
the
I think you have to rescind the motion that you passed on your capital improvements, which was a full 3-year plan or whatever you did.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember how much that was.
Well, it was 175,000 for new equipment. 100. What was the paving at lot 6? 120.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
120 for the paving. For those two items alone,
And that's not even counting the,
you're at 300,000, and then you talked about doing the caulking between the planks, of precast concrete planks, so that's a real big number. You know, I'm just here to answer numbers, okay? I'm not for it, I'm not against it. You only made 136,000 last year, and the whole year, that was your net income. You had a gross of 800,000, but you netted 136.
I realize it brings our balance.
Well, all I'm saying is, it's a whole year's worth of income to you. Just understand, you don't, I'm just putting.
I understand, I mean, hopefully down the road we will control all the garages.
Well, your income's not gonna change. There's no rate increase coming. So, I mean, you can look, if we have a favorable snowfall season, you're gonna make $140,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. If you have a bad snow, it'd be 120 to 140. Be my guess, would be, you gotta remember, there's only Central, all the cars are out of there that are paying us. Most of them go over to the intermodal and pay them.
Which he collects all the income on.
He gets some money for that.
We get no income from East, because any excess income over expenses is turned over to the city. So you're really only dealing with lot 6 in this building right here. That's where those numbers for your net income comes from. Just so everybody understands that, because the city has the loan against the, OCD has the loan against. So that's where that comes from. So, I mean, that's all, it's nothing new.
What did we give the years before the 300?
Oh, we before that, we gave him at least 200,000. Then we bumped it up. We actually gave him 50,000 more than he asked for last year. But like I said,
What
he
did we
does
give him
get,
last year?
we gave him 300. 300.
300.
Plus we gave the 100,000 to Hawkeye. So in reality, now our balances are going down, there's no doubt. We had a lot of money last year.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm only trying to help the mayor out, so I mean,
And I think that's what everybody wants to do, but you have to understand, we don't have the money. At one point, when 4 years ago, we had $700,000 or $800,000, most of which we've given to the city. Making call it 140,000. At the end of the day, you can only give away 100. I mean, that's the net income. That's a year's worth of income. So I'm just trying to put it on.
well,
so everybody understands what it is.
I don't know if he'd be happy with giving it to him on a, I think he needs a cash by the end, for his budget for the end of the year. I mean, I told him we'll look at it down the road, if we can only give him 150 for the whole year, that's it. I mean, the Hawkeye deal is spread over 12 months. I don't know if he'd be receptive to us paying the 150 over 12 months either.
Well,
Right
you
now,
have
it's
you
a
have the assets
can.
to give them.
Huh?
He has to come in because there aren't taxes coming in until,
Right.
you know, say the first quarter.
Right.
And he has to make up, but I was saying that, I mean, I personally, I feel that the deal that the city and/or, I mean, it's our deal, but the city made it with the movie theater, that it's a pittance that they're paying, and I mean, I love the fact of priming the pump for businesses and helping them get started. But we have a going business in that movie theater that's, you know, let's say $10 million a year. They aren't paying 0.000 something for parking. I mean, we all know what they're paying a year.
Oh, it's
And
it's 45,000 or
it's not
something. Yeah,
even,
some of-
yeah, it
Well,
doesn't
doesn't
cover
even
the
come to
stamp.
us. I don't
But
even know who
what
goes to.
I suggested, and he said that, well, ask Tommy and ask Murray to give him a call and let's sit down and talk about, talking the revenues that literally aren't going on the table. I mean, I personally find it pretty difficult I think that $70 a month is fair market value for a person to pay for monthly parking. But that there's an awful lot of people that are parking for free.
I know, I've been preaching that, Jim, for
Well,
a long time.
I want to say that, you know, on our side of it, that, you know, we see, and we, as residents of the city, I mean, we want to help support the city, and we want to see that, you know, and look at nobody wants to pay more taxes. That's not true, I do. I mean, I really do. I want more services. I think city employees want raises. So things are going up. We have to, if we can, find ways of gaining our revenue. And I think that we're at a fair market value of our parking per hour and per month. But there's an awful lot of people that are, and how can we fix that?
Well,
The answers aren't easy.
also, my theory is, how
happy,
much do
but-
we pay him in that parking tax? If we ever really got in trouble, we could say, hey, you know, we're also giving you that money, the parking fee, right?
Well,
For every car we pull.
in the last 11, 12, and 13,
8%.
we paid $173,000 in parking fees.
And how long is that?
That's including this year. So it's 13, 12, and 11.
In 3 years, we paid him
Well, the
almost
city's doing without property tax.
$60,000 a
You
year
know,
almost.
It's,
We're paying him that too.
Yeah.
Well, I thought 150 was reasonable. I'm just asking for your opinion. I know it can't be any more than that, and maybe it's a stretch of 50,000, but
I think it's a stretch, but I think that we also can look at, in this coming year, raising revenues of different places, like
yeah,
the
we
movie
just have to
theater,
work a little
like-
harder at it.
Yeah,
I'm just
they have that deal though. We investigated that a couple of years ago
Mhm.
to see what was going on, and that's how the deal's a tripart agreement between the city, the chamber, and the movie theater guy.
Right.
And the parking authority, we were told to sign off on it when it went through.
Yeah.
And so we got no revenue and no say in the matter, which is that's fine. We also had no expense in the matter, but I have no idea what they're paying, but I know it's a low number.
It might be time to reopen that
I don't know.
conversation.
I don't know if you can. It's a 20-year lease. It's part of the lease they have.
Well,
with
I mean, we started the agreement with the whole complex. Well, guess what? The movie theater sold off, let's call its white elephant side and kept its revenue side.
you know what? I don't know.
And, you know, and again, that's another conversation
Yeah.
for another place, but that I think, well, administration and the parking authority should have a conversation.
Oh, I'd be
If-
happy to. I've been.
So I'm a messenger saying, call the administration and set up a meeting.
Well, I'm sure that,
That-
that
yeah.
message to Barry and-
Talk to Barry about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, the free parking that's in this city is pretty incredible. There's nooks and crannies to park for free all over the.
All the, well, I'm going right back and saying, well, what about your meters? I mean, that I go downtown on Friday or, any night, the meters are all full, but there's nobody collecting any meter fees. Now, I mean, is this revenue or is this, you're giving, I don't know. How can we charge businesses during the day and then we give businesses at night a free ride? I mean, because I do understand that it's a complex thing because, how can they do this? Well, but here's what's happening, and is it right, is it wrong?
I have a question. If you're talking on that, why do you want to be so quick to give the parking authority money away when nobody's making any effort on that part? There's free parking all over the place.
I think it's,
We just
well, I
did
think it's
Hawkeye.
two different conversations. That right now, we have a history of supporting the city, and it's not even supporting the city. We are a part of the city. We are, and I want to say, a revenue source for the city. I mean, we are not, a foster child or abandoned child or anything else. We are a part of the city. And at this time of year, the city needs operating funds, cash, because they don't collect taxes. And again, I shouldn't even be given reasons why, but it's part of our, the same way as the
Well, I think
municipal golf course makes a
Well,
donation
Jim,
every
I think he
year.
has a little bit more respect for us than we did 2 years ago.
Okay, without a doubt, without a
Because
doubt.
he's one of the few places he could come to for money.
That's right, really one of the few places have one.
Have
Yeah.
money, yeah. I'm not, like I said, he just seemed to think we had a lot more money than what we had.
Well,
Yeah.
the reports are sent over.
Well, evidently he doesn't read them. That's my opinion. I don't think he reads them. He thought there's some hidden money CDs. I said, no, there's no CDs. And if we had CDs tied up, we could. But right now, you're not earning any money on the CD. So I'm just saying it might be a stretch to give it to him, and maybe he's there. Okay, well, I'm willing to. If you could give something like that. And I said, we'll look at it 6 months down the road. He seemed to be happy, but I think after I told him what we really had, then I think it opened his eyes a little bit. I said, but we give this money away, we'll have the lowest balance we've pretty much ever had here.
Right.
So it's.
Well, that's, we gotta watch, we can't continue to,
You can't, look, all you need
can't continue to give this money away.
You're,
We're not gonna
Well,
be
then we
bound.
gotta ask for concessions, like I said, on that tax, if we really run into problems, then we gotta say, hey, Mayor, we can't pay you that 60,000, that's 60
And he's
grand
gonna
right
agree
there.
to that?
well,
I don't
but
think so.
he's using that money. You can't, I mean, it's not like you can have it back.
Well, it's open for discussion,
Sure,
so does somebody else have
absolutely.
a different number? That's all I'm saying, the way you wanna give them.
We just did Hawkeye.
Well,
You know,
Like
we saved-
I
we
said, I'll
saved
make
Hawkeye.
if anybody, others, you're against giving them anything. You are?
I'm for giving him something,
Yeah.
but it's gotta be a certain level here. We gotta come to terms on that.
I
Because we got other things on the drawing board here.
Well, we'll give them whatever, you said we make 140,000?
That's my estimation going this year. Don't forget our fiscal year only starts in October. But, so, I mean, we're in good shape right now. Now, we've had as much snowfall, as much plowing so far right now this year as we did all of last year. So, that's why we were able to pull in a bigger number last year, so.
Could I
Hey,
ask you a
look,
question?
I mean, yeah, I understand exactly what it's all about. But do understand that as a business, purely as a business, the auditors want a year's worth of operating income, not revenue, operating income. We're not even near that. So I'm just telling you what they say to me at the end of the year. But I'm totally sympathetic with the fact that the city needs money. Of course they do.
No doubt about it.
Well, they'll leave us, we give them 140, we'll leave them a $250,000, we got a $250,000 left. It was only 10 grand, but if you say we have rough ballpark figure.
It's a
we
year's
got-
worth of income. You could say
We'll
you're
give them a
giving
year's worth of income.
Huh?
We'll give them a year's worth of income, which is $140,000.
does that still leave the authority with money to complete the capital expenses without?
Well,
It's
that's-
close.
It's a 5-year capital.
That was my
So-
question. Is there a number that could help the city and still maintain
Well, we
what's
went-
projected?
That's my problem, I agree.
Yes.
Well, we have an income. I looked at the numbers from last year. We, in January, we had 299,000. That's after giving them the 300. And now December, we're still after buying the sweeper, we're up about another 100,000 on top of that.
392.
396 is where we're at now. So, yeah, we gave them 300 based on the income. We bought a sweeper. I think we spent some money last year, right? But some of the biggest expenditures, biggest was the sweeper, right?
Yeah, that
Yeah,
was
that's
40
big.
grand.
Almost 40 grand there.
Right.
So,
You do need new equipment. I mean, we've been talking about that for
Oh, yeah,
a long
definitely.
time.
Long time.
And what's happened with the equipment, as with all electronics, it's outdated, and now it costs $100 an hour, whatever the hell those guys are charging us to come up from Philadelphia or wherever they come from to fix it, just like they do for your computer. So it's getting costly, and we would just want to be aware of that. Hey, look, we can do it, we can do whatever you want to do. We can't do that equipment thing a piece at a time. It all has to talk to each other, so, we have, that's gonna be a one-time expenditure of a big number. I mean, but you can't just say, well, we'll replace the stuff at South, at the East Garage, because it all has to talk to each other, so. I remember when we did it 7 years ago, or 8 years ago now. We had to run lines. Do we have to run new lines now, Sam? Or the lines that
It's
are?
the new ones might go fiber optic. Right now it's that Ethernet. But it's probably plug and play.
Yeah.
Probably plug and play, yeah.
Well, that'd be a less on the expense side.
On the expense side, yeah. But it's, like you said, it's 8 years. Normally they do them every 4 to 5 years because it changes. And what happens is the operating systems, Windows has changed 4 times since we put it in. XP, 7, 7.1 to 8. What was the other one?
Vista.
Vista. So it's changed 4 times. So everything they're writing for the equipment now is for the last 2 latest versions. And it might not talk to what it was when it initially was put in.
Yeah.
And then like you said, it's when they come in to do stuff, it's new, it's some game that these engineers play. They're training the new people on the new computer. So the cost went from initially, when I first started, it was $25 visits. Now I think we're up, you said 100, I think it's what,
So I think it's more than
$225?
that,
Yeah, it's like
just to get them,
$225,
to show up at the door.
to
Yeah.
show up, an hour.
And the older the equipment gets, the more time they have to spend here, the more time they spend on it.
I'm still gonna make a proposal for 140. Look at 1 year's worth of income. You're gonna second it?
Does the public have a chance to say anything yet?
What do you want to propose, 140?
I'm gonna propose
I
1
think
year's
that's
of
at the
income.
end, I'm not
Look
sure.
for it.
Well, the Sunshine Act would prohibit you from taking a vote without offering public comment before this.
Well, and then make it, I'm
Go
not
ahead,
chairman,
Bob.
whatever, go ahead and make your comment.
You can make comments if you want.
I can talk now?
I guess, yeah.
Well, this study people understand. It's really not a problem in the city with money. Just gave himself a $12,000 raise for the next 2 years. And how about the pilfering they did of the $300-some thousand with this scam of selling the place? That was all wasted money. Matter of fact, J.J. Murphy, what was he getting, $400 an hour?
Oh,
No.
we know we lost $250,000 over that deal there. We know that.
Sure we did.
We know it's $250,000 that went down the drain. We know that.
So just so you understand, I filed a private criminal complaint, and I just sent information to the DA asking like what's going on. I don't know if the board, maybe we could, if the board could make a resolution here or a motion, how about sending the DA a letter saying, Mr. Kalabowski informed us that he filed a private criminal complaint, where the mayor pressured the board into going with Fox Rothschild. Pressured, and we just gave in. He pressured us. And we lost all that money. Maybe the board, if you could, have the attorney there, write a letter to the DA and say, are you doing something on this complaint that Mr. Kalabowski filed? There's money that we might be able to recover.
Right,
This.
but I don't think that's our place to do that, Bob.
Well, I'm just asking, why not? I mean, hey, you represent me. I'm the
understand
citizen, but I'm just saying, maybe you could speed that
So are all
along.
these people, but the bottom line is, what's done is done, they paid it. If you sent a letter that's gonna start something, some motion or something,
You see what I'm saying, is
I
that
hear
maybe
what
if
you're
you
saying.
send a letter to the whole board, say, hey, are you doing anything about Mr. Kalabowski's complaint? Maybe maybe there's a chance there that there's something wrong there. I mean, we wasted all that money, hold on, we wasted all that money, and it was a sham. We could have went for $5,000 and got the appraisals done from that place, what's the name of that place,
Yeah.
Desmond? I mean, now we're out all that money, and look who profited from it. Another thing that I'm trying to say is, look what we just did with Hawkeye. Now, when I think that gentleman right there, I gave him all the information. Did the board ever get a report on how many robberies, assaults, beatings, cars broken into? Did you ever get go in and I think he was supposed to do it, get all the information on how did those cameras help us? What did they do? What did they solve? I thought the board was supposed to get it. Did that gentleman, I believe it was him, did you ever get a copy of what this Hawkeye system has done for us the last several years? And we go and right away, next thing you know, you give them this money to fund Hawkeye.
Well, we had an in-depth discussion on that at the last board meeting, and if anybody, you were here, I think, weren't you?
No, he wasn't.
No.
He wasn't.
I didn't know.
Whatever. The decision was made, the minutes don't reflect the whole discussion, but, the decision was made, Bob.
I understand, but, well, here, I believe that gentleman right there was supposed to go,
I don't remember that.
well, we have it on
Well,
video.
they were supposed to give reports if we wanted them.
If I'm not trying to like pick on you or nothing, but
Jerry,
No.
Jerry said certain things he can't.
He's in
do.
the parking business.
Oh.
He's not in the police reporting. He answers the last parking, okay?
okay,
And we have to respond to the board.
okay.
Okay, so it's not fair to attack.
Well, I'm not, hold on, I'm not attacking, I'm being, if I was attacking him, I'm attacking him, I'm being nice to him. I said, I believe he's the gentleman that was supposed to go and be the liaison and go try to get all these reports, or at least somebody was, to say to the board, hey, look, this is what Hawkeye did. Here's what good they did, or what bad they did.
They made them available to us if we want them.
So did anybody go get them?
Well,
I don't want them.
I don't want them. What do I want them for? That's a police thing. They showed us what they do. We've
Last
been
meeting,
there.
the chief was here and Baruch was here, and they asked a lot of questions.
I'm happy with Jerry's doing there and how he's using the reports. He's using them. What's the point of looking at them?
Well, no, but I'm
Police
just
tool.
saying, what
But
the,
they answered a lot of questions for us last meeting.
right, well, what I'm saying is this, is how much did it help us?
I don't think I don't think you could even ever figure that out, whether somebody did or did not break into a car, or as a result of a camera being above it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, then
Jerry
what good are
gave
the
an
cameras?
explanation of how it's used. He said
Yeah,
sometimes you
security.
can't definitively
That's right,
say
exactly.
that can, but down the road, it meant they could follow people, they could do things. It doesn't, can you say that was the camera? Definitely, no, but it was things that helped them in the pursuit of somebody. I mean, I know Jerry, I talked to Jerry. We've been there, all of us been over to the, have you been inside to see it, what they do in there?
Are you kidding me?
Well, they won't let you in, but I'm just saying in the police station, but everybody here's been there and feels satisfied with what's there.
100%.
I feel it's worth it. You can't have cameras just sitting there inoperable. And I was down to talked to the security man, Neil McCormick, as a matter of fact, at the new Southside Bistro. There's a camera right up there
Yeah.
that works right on the corner, right where that is. They have security from 6 o'clock till the last person leaves that restaurant. A new restaurant, somebody new there. So, I mean, the camera is right there too. I mean, to me, I think that's a deterrent, that it's right in front of that. And there's a new business person, a lady, I didn't meet her, but she spent $1 million to remodel that building. So, I mean, things are happening, and I still think people feel safe there, that there's, number one, not only a security person there, there's a camera right there on the corner. That's right there.
Let's go back to, you made a motion to vote $140,000 to the mayor.
Second.
You
Yes.
I have a
seconded.
question. Is
Let's
this
take
too,
the vote.
is it this amount, is he looking for 150, for
He
the
was looking for
cameras?
300.
Well, I don't know.
I'm just saying, I
looking
see
at the
that in
number
there,
we're
I said,
tossing
in
around.
reality, we're funding the cameras. He could use the money however he wants, but he said.
We already
they-
funded the camp, we
We
already
gave him,
did that.
that's not enough for the whole thing. It's
Well,
only
why should
$100,000.
Why should we fund the whole thing? I
Because
don't
nobody else is doing it.
understand.
Nobody else is doing it. That's the reason.
And we're Wilkes-Barre Parking Authority, I mean, and we have cash.
We have money.
What are we
Yeah.
gonna,
Yeah. I mean, maybe he
Keep it in
will
the bank and
realize,
get 0.1%.
hey, the bottom line is, my bottom line is that he will hopefully somehow turn over everything that's eventually, when he sees, I still say we are managing, and Murray has said it many, many times, we're doing this, I know I've been on this board, what, 6 years now? I think we've turned this place around. There's no doubt about it. Considering where it was before, with the people managing it, the money we've had, I
There's no
mean,
question about it.
there's no, so,
Well, I would say you're right there, because I've been on it a long time, and I'll tell you, this is the best we've been.
Mhm.
And I
So-
think that's,
and I don't think of all people that he would ask me to make the motion. To do it,
Mr.
if he
Capel,
doesn't think we're doing the right thing here.
one last question before your vote. The 140,000 won't affect the capital improvement projects. I think that's Mrs. King's question or concerns in her mind, is that it might cut you guys short. Just to set that at ease, it won't in any way cut the parking
Yeah,
authority
keep it.
short,
It's
right?
tight.
At the
It's
140.
close.
It
I
will
don't
slow the plan down,
It'll.
not drastically by
Is the-
any stretch, it'll just.
As
slow
the
it.
manager, is there a number that maybe could meet halfway? I heard you guys mentioning 125 or 100 even.
No, I
Would-
don't think it's not gonna make that much difference.
Okay.
We're just gonna have to look for other ways, we can finance it, whatever. I mean, we
that's
just
the
gotta,
way,
we have to.
get more money.
I was hopeful that there might be a compromise somewhere that might make everybody
Well,
happy.
it's, I mean, we're giving him 140 less than what he wants, 160. But, and what he wants and what he, maybe after a little conversation, I talked to him a little bit, and he certainly wasn't,
He wasn't
he
aware
ju-
of
he
the
wasn't,
situation.
he wasn't aware of our situation, and
He should have been.
basically he's said whatever you can do. And I said,
We give monthly reports, do we not?
The whole package, everything
should have
goes
been
over,
aware of our situation.
including the
he
minutes.
should have been aware of it, but, you know, maybe he's got a lot of things on the table, so. I mean, we give it to him now, who's to say if next year he might not get anything?
Well, if you commit to some of the capital, it depends on how we do it. There's some things, as I said before, you just can't do piecemeal.
I
You
understand.
can't do the computer system piecemeal.
We have a tough winter. I mean, it might even run down a little, but I still think that leaves us, I think it leaves us enough slush fund there. So,
Okay, let's take a vote. Bobby?
Yeah, I'm in favor.
How much are we talking?
140.
140. Marianne,
All right.
what's that?
Yes, as long
Yes.
as,
Eddie says,
yes,
and I miss.
unanimous,
Unanimous. Give $140.
140,000.
140,000.
Then I'll deliver it.
140,000. I feel 140. You and I was willing to give them
Better put a
Off
sign
with
up
your
on
head
it.
again.
140,000.
He asked me to make the resolution, so,
There you are.
but it wasn't for the amount he wanted, so.
So everybody agrees to it? No problem. Let's see. I guess that's about it. Have a motion to
Anybody else have any
adjourn.
questions? No?
Anybody, any further questions on that?
No. Okay.
Okay. Then we'll make a motion to adjourn.
And Merry Christmas to everyone.
Okay, Eddie.